Hello all, my name is Dr. Maitri Kavishri. I am a senior resident in Department of Cardiac Anesthesiology at Narayana Institute of Cardiac Sciences. Today I am presenting a case study that we did in our institute. By using transthoracic echocardiography, we assessed the effect of neuraxial anesthesia on LV diastolic function. As we all know, LV diastolic function plays a major role in determining the overall cardiovascular performance and heart failure resulting from diastolic dysfunction. Conventionally, using transthoracic echo, transmitral pulsed wave Doppler and pulmonary vein flow Doppler are used to identify diastolic dysfunction. However, the main disadvantages of these techniques are their dependence on left ventricular loading condition and a display of biphasic response to increased disease severity. One such condition in which we see altered loading condition is neuraxial anesthesia, where we see both decrease in the preload and afterload, and this mainly happens due to sympathetic blockade. These altered loading conditions can affect the left ventricular diastolic functions in patients with normal as well as abnormal systolic function. Till now, no specific studies have been carried out to our knowledge to analyze the effect of neuraxial anesthesia on LV diastolic function. So, we conducted a study. This is a prospective study conducted in 50 adult patients undergoing elective orthopedic procedure using neuraxial anesthesia for lower limb surgery. The study methodology that we followed is once the patient is in the operating room, monitoring was initiated following ASA standards. Baseline hemodynamic parameters such as heart rate, blood pressure, and saturation were noted. Baseline transthoracic echo was carried out. All the echo parameters as given in the table were measured according to American Society of Echocardiography recommendation. Transthoracic echo is again performed at 20-minute interval till 60th minute after the neuraxial block. Significance of the data were analyzed utilizing standardized statistical methods. In our study case of about 50 patients, the spinal anesthesia block height achieved was about T4 to T6 in about 13 patients. And in those 13 patients, 12 patients required a phenylephrine in order to maintain a mean arterial pressure along with fluid loading. There was no significant changes in the heart rate in our study group. However, there was a significant decrease in the mean arterial pressure and 40 patients required fluid loading. Transthoracic echo revealed that about 6 patients had a LV hypertrophy. The mean baseline LVEF as well as the RVFAC of our patients were of normal range. Post neuraxial anesthesia, the various volumes and dimensions of LV-RV did not change significantly from the baseline. However, in terms of LV diastolic function, in 2 patients we found preoperative diastolic dysfunction. Both had elevated E by E prime and elevated LA volume index, and these patients' diastolic dysfunction grading was found to be between 2 to 3. Following that, in the operating room, we did not see any much hemodynamic instability in these 2 patients, and volume loading was meticulously carried out, and spinal anesthesia block height achieved was at the level of T8. And these 2 patients did not require any vasopressors also. Post-spinal anesthesia diastolic dysfunction grading did not worsen, but instead it showed improvements in the E by E prime ratio in these 2 patients. The reason for this improvement in diastolic performance after neuraxial anesthesia may be attributed to the enhanced ventricular filling following ventricular wall relaxation due to neuraxial blockade. In the perioperative period, diastolic parameters may be affected by preload, afterload, respiratory rate, heart rate, and left atrial pressure. In our study, we observed that there was no significant change in the heart rate. Relative maintenance of adequate preload and heart rate with normal LV systolic function after neuraxial anesthesia could be the reason for lack of variation in LV diastolic performance in patients who had a normal LV diastolic function. So to conclude with, in our study, we found that neuraxial anesthesia does not affect indices of the LV diastolic performance in patients with normal diastolic function and preserved LV systolic function as evaluated by the transthoracic echo. However, in patients with diastolic dysfunction, we noted that neuraxial anesthesia improved diastolic function by decreasing LV stiffness and thereby enhancing diastolic filling. I would like to thank my seniors and my colleagues and Dr. Srinath Damodaran sir, Dr. Sharanu Patel sir, Dr. Kumar Belani sir, and Dr. Muralidhar Kanchi sir for guiding me throughout my study and providing me this opportunity. Thank you.